James Barnes. Today I am once again with my buddy Royce.
Howdy, y'all.
Right. And so last time we got together, we were talking about autism. We just kind of talked generally about it, but today we want to do something different. And we want to talk more specifically about, I think the word was IEPs.
Yep, and special education programs.
Special education programs. And so what our goal is honestly, it's a tough life out there for Royce. And he's figured out and he's navigated a lot of things. And so he'd like to share that information, right? Is that kind of the goal?
Yep.
And so what exactly do we want to start with? What is an IEP in the first place? What if we never heard of that? What is
an IEP? Is an individualized education program. It is a program that helps accommodate the needs of people with special needs such as autism in public schools.
Nice.
And I believe they are required under U.S. federal law.
Right. So fascinating. So that starts with early education. What part of education is starting, like pre-ed, or does it get all the way up into, where do you start to get these services?
We can do that at pre-ed.
Okay, it starts at pre-ed and then it works its way up into college?
To 12th grade, but in college, you can use resources through student disability services.
Okay.
Colleges are required to have those services.
And so you've gone through all of these services from beginning to end. So when did you start getting into, I guess, the IEP service? When's your first experience that you know of?
Preschool, where I went was in early childhood class where I received assistance and support for my autism. I remember in kindergarten, I would go to speech therapy classes to help me with reading.
Did you like that? Was that something that you enjoyed? Was it helpful, you think? Or how did that work out in early education?
It was really helpful when I was younger. With my high functioning autism later in life, I seemed like I didn't need it as much. But I wish I had more input from my mom on my IEP program. When I was very young, I wasn't able to really go to meetings that discussed my IEP plan.
I understand.
Because I didn't really understand.
So,
okay.
May I add something?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Hi, guys.
Yes.
Sarah Roach Barnes here. So, being a certified special education teacher here in our great state of Texas, at 13, it is law that students now sit in their...
Oh, wow. That's a change. Has that changed recently? Are you familiar with that?
Yes, because when I was 13 in 7th grade, I sat in IEP meeting.
Okay, so
that's it.
Okay, gotcha. So you think it would be beneficial to start earlier than maybe?
It can be.
Depending on the situation, obviously, right?
But that will probably vary by state, because as Sarah said, in Texas, that age starts at 13.
Okay, gotcha. But you do say there's always a benefit of that, and we need to be very aware of that. Okay, got you. Fascinating. So what IEPs are. Give me some life experiences that you maybe had. Do you have any one that you'd like to point out or experience where maybe it was helpful, and then maybe one where it was maybe you think it could have been done different? Two different perspectives. Maybe.
I could have had better testing accommodations in school.
Okay.
Could have had my own room to take a test.
Got you.
I had those services with student disability services at Alpha Scholars at Abilene Christian University, which is its equivalent. I would test in a different room, separate from the classroom, and I performed better on exams.
Nice.
So you had individualized testing.
Nice. Fascinating. So as you grow into life and you get older and older, now you're into college and then you're getting your master's degree. How does that accommodation perfect your skills really at the end of the day? Because you right now you're in college, you're not giving you individual testing, right?
Nope.
Right. So you had to figure something out between then and now.
Yep.
So what was that?
Yep. For graduate school, I found out that student disability services don't seem to be as effective for me because I only write written essays and papers.
Fascinating. So it's
very different from an undergraduate program.
Got you.
But I could request for additional time on an assignment if I had wanted to.
Got you. So there's services, but maybe it's the beginning of the thought of other advocacy thoughts and stuff. I don't know. Maybe there are avenues to think about. That's fascinating. This is not about that. Today it's about just introducing all the ideas. And really what I see is there's a plethora of ideas, and plethora is a big word. I love that word. It means a lot. You know what I mean? And so there's so many perspectives. I mean, I never really thought about any of these perspectives, and how do we deal with them? And then my wife, she being a school teacher, which I love so dearly, my wife, she talks about the how difficult it is to mix all that together and teach at the same time. Because if you're not giving proper education, what's it called, classroom management, the kids aren't going to learn. So it's fascinating to hear the different perspectives.
Yep.
So another perspective of yours, maybe you want to share, anything in particular?
Let's go into special education classrooms.
Let's do that.
Yeah. In special education classrooms in public schools, students can be able to work well with other students of different disabilities. But they aren't often special education classes for people with a certain disability. It's not easy to make a classroom like that.
Gotcha. And so there's it's kind of a general population special ed, and and it's hard to kind of there's so many needs going on that none of them are being met. Or some of them, I guess some of them are being met, because we do have a special education teacher. But can you ask a question in that area to help understand no more what's being missed? And because as a special education teacher, what can we do different? Or maybe you could ask a question.
So having autism, do you think a more restrictive classroom for students with autism would be ideal in a perfect world, or do you prefer the inclusion model that we have now, that everybody participates in the classroom?
That's a good question.
We could do inclusion in the classroom if the special education teachers are able to teach students more about autism and how to support people with autism. But if they are not able to do that, then there should be specialized classrooms for people with autism. Like, in some cases, specific schools for people with autism. And I'm certain that there are very few schools for people with autism that are out there.
Fascinating. You're right. And so here you are getting your master's degree, and you're getting ready to graduate in December, I believe. You're getting your degree.
Yep.
Wow. I can't wait to go to that, by the way. It's going to be so fun. I know a lot of people are very cheering you on for that. But so taking that experience, and what are you writing about? Like, what's your paper about? What are you focusing on in your graduate degree?
Oh, I'm doing my master's in public administration, and I'm going to be doing a topic on the Robin Hood plan, which was a plan from 1993, which was from Texas Senate Bill 7, was passed into law, and is now part of the Texas Education Code. It's over financial equity for public school districts.
Fascinating. And so that's what you're writing about. So have you already started all the research? You've got a big pile of papers you've read already, or what's going on there?
I am currently working on the literature review for it.
Okay. And a literature review, you said?
Yep.
Oh, so you're just kind of figuring out what do you got to read and what you got to do?
Yeah, it's a lot harder than anti-bibliography. You can't just make summaries of each source you make.
Right. Fascinating. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to read that.
Yeah.
It's gonna change things, because that's what it's about, right? You want to write something profound that moves things, and that's as a person that goes up to Austin and I lobby, and one of these days you got to go up with me. But it's so fun because it's really not as complicated as people think, because there's something called laws, right? Mm-hmm. And these laws are written down. And if you are aware of a problem with one of the laws, you can go get it. You could put a pencil on it and write the change that you think would correct the law. Then you can go back to somebody and say, "Can you do this for me?" And then they will do it for you. And then you got to help it. It's a lot more involved. Yeah. I know I'm making an easy process, but if like people like yourself understand where the law is short and does not work, guess what? Super, super easy. In fact, I guarantee you the legislators want to hear from you. They want to hear where the problems are, because you're the one that is having the struggles, not us, not me, it's you. And then so what do we do next? And they want to hear from you. And so that's the coolest part. you have the opportunity to really write into law what is the correct way to do things. And it's not contention, it's not bad, it is awesome. You know what I mean? Think about that. So, you ready to change some laws?
Yep.
We got to figure out what they are first. You got to show me where they are. I'll help you figure that out. That's so fun. But and there's a lot of people around that love you that help you figure that out too. But changing laws to benefit, autism, to benefit the society as a whole, man, that's the best thing ever. Is that? I think do you want to finish here? So do you think that's a good spot? Do you want to say any more? Now you have to be the finisher. What do you got to say? They're listening.
Let's make a bright change.
That's it. That's it. I think that's it. Okay. This is James Barnes, and I'm with
Royce Clough.
And it's Real Talk.